Could the atrocities committed in human history be the result of influences from the spirit world? Are we constantly under attack by spirits of adversity? Would we be negatively influenced by Ahrimanic beings due to our exaggerated egos, our negligence and ignorance of the existing forces in the spirit world? Thoughts and feelings are realities that radiate out into the world, and we are surrounded by materialistic thoughts. The impact of the spirits of adversity manifests in diverse ways, and there are times when one type of influence is more prevalent than another. According to the teachings of Rudolf Steiner, Ahrimanic beings are spiritual entities that are opposed to the development and evolution of human consciousness. These beings are said to exist in the spiritual realm and are responsible for promoting a worldview that is focused on materialism, rationalism, and technology. Ahrimanic forces would persuade individuals and convince them that the prosperity of humanity is solely reliant on material and economic welfare, creating disconnection from the spiritual aspects of life. These forces have a tendency to promote inactivity and numb the consciousness, resulting in a weakened will that leaves room for external influences to infiltrate. Would there be a connection here with some kind of mass hysteria? When consciousness is not fully awakened, there is a possibility for the emergence of obsession, and certain global events raise the question of whether demonic entities have taken hold of certain personalities. There are numerous spiritual systems in the world, secret societies, occult orders, or mystery schools that hold ancestral knowledge that may be capable of unlocking consciousness expansion processes, each with its unique types of initiation methods that individuals undergo, and the Rosicrucian system has been particularly impactful in the Western world. The Rosicrucian initiation path searches for a way to penetrate the spiritual and subtle energy realms to guide our behavior in the physical world. However, it is important to approach this path with caution and care, as it involves working with powerful spiritual energies and forces that can have a meaningful impact on your life and consciousness. One of the key aspects of the Rosicrucian teachings is the initiation path, which is a series of steps or stages that a member must go through to attain spiritual advancement and enlightenment. The initiation path is based on a number of principles and practices that are outlined in the works of Max Heindel, a German-American author and mystic who was one of the leading figures in the Rosicrucian movement in the early 20th century. The principle of reincarnation. The Rosicrucian belief in reincarnation is central to its philosophy and is considered to be the key to understanding the nature of the soul and its evolution. The principle of karma. According to this principle, every action has consequences, and these consequences determine the nature of our experiences in this life and in future lives. The principle of universal brotherhood. The Rosicrucian philosophy emphasizes the idea of universal brotherhood, which recognizes that all beings are interconnected and that each individual is a part of a greater whole. The principle of spiritual alchemy. The Rosicrucian initiation path involves a process of spiritual alchemy, which is the transformation of the soul from a state of ignorance and darkness to a state of enlightenment and spiritual awareness. The Rosicrucian initiation path is divided into a series of stages or degrees, each one representing a different level of spiritual advancement and knowledge. The following is a short overview of each stage of the path as described in Max Heindel's works. Probationer. This is the first stage of the Rosicrucian initiation path, and the probationer is required to practice various spiritual disciplines such as concentration, visualization, and introspection. The probationer is also expected to cultivate virtues such as purity, humility, and selflessness. Neophyte. The neophyte is the second stage of the Rosicrucian initiation path, and they are required to practice more advanced spiritual disciplines such as astral projection and inner visualization. They are also expected to continue to cultivate virtues such as selflessness and purity. Disciple. The disciple is the third stage of the Rosicrucian initiation path and involves learning about the nature of spiritual alchemy and how it can be applied to their own spiritual growth. The disciple practices more advanced spiritual disciplines such as dream work and creative visualization. They are also expected to continue to cultivate virtues such as humility and selflessness. Initiate. The initiate stage is the ultimate stage of the Rosicrucian initiation path, and it represents the culmination of the individual's spiritual journey. They learn about the inner mechanisms of the universe and how the principles of karma and reincarnation operate at a cosmic level. It is a stage that requires a great deal of dedication, commitment, and self-discipline, and the practice of advanced spiritual disciplines such as conscious projection and communion with the divine. However, there are some reasons why you should be careful when using the knowledge of the Rosicrucian initiation path. It can have unintended consequences. Working with powerful spiritual energies and forces can have unintended consequences, both positive and negative. It is important to approach this path with care and caution, and to be prepared for any unexpected outcomes or consequences that may arise. It can be emotionally and psychologically challenging. Working with the powerful energies and forces involved in the Rosicrucian initiation path can be emotionally and psychologically intense. It can bring up deep-seated fears, traumas, and psychological issues that may need to be addressed and worked through in order to progress on the path. It can also be easy to get caught up in ego-driven pursuits. The pursuit of spiritual development can sometimes be motivated by desires for power, status, or recognition. It is important to remain vigilant and mindful of these tendencies, and to stay focused on the true goal of spiritual growth and enlightenment. The initiation path endeavors to transmute thoughts of egocentrism, materialism, and greed into pure love, kindness, selflessness, and spiritual aspirations, and transmit them back to the world to encourage and elevate all that is good. Without this potent source of spiritual vibration, materialism would have completely stifled all spiritual effort long ago. The last 300 years have been particularly dark from a spiritual standpoint. Although the world presents various opportunities, we can only capitalize on them if we possess proficiency in a particular area of interest. And here we may have reached the most important point of this video, which is that we must be careful when using this knowledge, because the development of our spiritual powers will enable us to either help or harm other people. It is only justifiable if the objective is efficiency in the service of humanity. The Rosicrucian method of attainment differs from other systems in one distinct aspect. It seeks to emancipate the pupil from relying on others from the beginning, to make them completely self-reliant so that they can stand alone under any circumstance and deal with any condition. Only those who are strongly poised in this way can help the weak. When a group of individuals gathers for self-development along negative lines, outcomes are usually achieved swiftly, since it is easier to drift with the tide than to swim against the current. However, the medium is not in control of their actions, but an instrument in service of the spirit. Remember, the path to spiritual enlightenment is an ongoing journey. Keep seeking knowledge, practicing self-awareness, and connecting with your inner self and the universe. Stay tuned for more exciting and thought-provoking content that will support you on your path to greatness.